Workshop topics: tumbler polishers, which is the best media to use. This is part 2. After previously using steel balls with a product called Barrel Bright, the results were not spectacular. With some help from Google, I found a solution to the problem. When I look back at my early experiments with this device, when all the parts filled up with the media, that prompted me to use the small steel balls that came with the unit, and that was more successful, but it didn't really polish the parts. But anything's better than this. I put a good quantity of steel balls, in fact all the ones that I had, into the drum and tried that on its own, and it didn't really polish the parts, it just cleaned them up a bit. I would have got a better result by dropping them in my acid bath. I need something that's going to polish up the brass parts. As shown in the previous episode, this was my attempt at a solution. The steel balls and some of the Barrel Bright powder were deposited in the drum along with the parts that I wanted to clean up and polish. I set the tumbler to speed number 2 and switched it on, and after about an hour it was looking like this. I really can't see this being very successful. Unsurprisingly, when I stopped the drum from revolving, it looked like this. This Barrel Bright powder was stuck to all of the steel balls, all of the parts, and most of the inside of the barrel. I took the parts out and washed them in a tub of water, as you can see here. The tub of water is no longer clean, and the brass parts were slightly polished, not very much, but just a little bit. I washed away all of the residue from the parts, and then I washed away all of the residue from the steel balls. Here they are in a sieve, and I'm putting them back into the drum for a second attempt. Apart from one stubborn ball that was stuck in the sieve, I managed not to drop any of the balls on the bench. Once all the balls were safely in the tub, I added 1/4 litre of water, or should I say 250 millilitres. Then I added approximately a couple of tablespoons full of the Barrel Bright powder. I sort of guessed this and added a bit for luck. I put all of the brass parts inside and gave it a bit of a shake. Then I placed it back on the machine and set it rolling. This is running at speed number 2. It seems to be a good speed to run it at. If I run the drum much faster, there's a problem, as all of the contents of the drum start to stick to the inside of it by the effect of centrifugal force, or is it centripetal force? Whichever is the correct definition, they are both wrong, because if the drum revolves too fast, there's no tumbling effect. There's still some tumbling going on in there, but it's a bit less than when it goes slower. This is at speed number 3. Already I'm starting to see a result. The parts are looking shiny. I turned the machine back down to speed number 2 and left it running whilst I watched the television programme again. And when I stopped the machine, I did notice that the parts were looking very shiny. I wanted to see what the effect was of running the machine for an extended period. I set it going again and went back to the television set to watch yet another episode of the series Prison Break on Netflix, which is quite good to be honest, but it does go on a bit. It's taken ages to get to here, but I am 3/4 of the way through Series 4. And after watching even more violence on this TV programme, which is quite entertaining really, you don't know whose turn it is to be double-crossed or shot. Finally I stopped the machine and upended the tumbler barrel, and as you can see, the water's changed colour. It's got a slight green hue, which is what I would expect from my acid bath. I removed the lid with this ingenious latching mechanism, and then I poured the contents into my sieve. As you can see, the water is no longer clean. I didn't spill any of the balls onto the bench. But as I placed all the brass parts on the bench, quite a few balls miraculously started to fall out of the cavities. I picked these up with my telescopic magnet, a very useful tool. But never mind that, look how good the parts are. They are just how I wanted them to be. Not polished like on a polishing spindle, just having a certain finish that is synonymous with the parts that fit on a steam engine. I was amazed how the steel balls really had found their way into every possible place that was big enough for them to fit, including one or two that were a bit tight. A couple of them needed poking out with a piece of wire, and in the centre of the image, slightly to the right, this one was firmly stuck. After poking about for a while, I managed to extract a further 5 steel balls. This shot is a bit messy and there's a lot of water about, including a couple of balls that I've missed. But after a while, when the parts were dried, this is what they looked like, and I really do like the look of these. The next job was to extract all of the balls from the barrel. This was more difficult than it looked, and some of these went all over the bench, but thanks again to my magnet on a stick, they were very easy to locate, including the ones that rolled onto the floor. To sum up, with a little help from Google to confirm that what I thought was going to work, I have a set of very well polished parts, one of which I will be fitting back onto its respective engine later on this afternoon. But that's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my main Steam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.